I've stayed largely out of the Karmelo with a K Anthony debate. I've stayed out of it because it's an ugly situation. It is a very sad situation in which people have been pitted against each other. People who were on the same side are now going at each other, and there's even more unplanned and maybe unwarranted divisions popping up all over the place from this. I'm going to be honest. This is something that the courts have to decide. And because the court of public opinion is going to blow up into a race war. It's going to render people politically homeless. It's going to... The facts of this case need to be sorted out. They need to be thoughtfully gone over. And the fact that none of that is happening, the fact that, and then when I saw the press conference earlier, everything that these people, everything that Anthony's people, by people I mean his representatives, his family, and all the rest, everything that they're doing, it's for antagonism. It's for that classic distance and irritation. There's a lot of facts about it that, particularly with how the Anthony family was able to get this, live in this nice house, how they end up getting a new car, and how they have made, been getting all this money to do all this stuff while still having a GoFundMe or Give, Send, Go, or whatever it is. I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. This is a situation that has to be left for a court of law. I know there are a lot of black folk who want this to, a lot of black conservatives who feel like they might be politically homeless because of this. All I'm gonna say is this: congratulations, whoever's participating in the division, whoever's participating in this is handing the left back their power. You don't get it. This is war. The powers that run this world know that MAGA is united. They know that this administration and the party currently at the helm of things, they know that the American people are largely in their favor. Okay? They like the deportations. They laugh when United States senators, who were one coming from my home state of Maryland, they like when idiots like Senator Chris Van Hollen go down and the virtue signaling backfires. The American people are seeing that the Democrats are the party that are no longer about the middle class. They were never about the middle class. They were never about women's rights. They were never about black people and our civil rights. They were always about taking power and look good and basically pretending to do good rather than actually doing good, being good, doing things for the benefit of the people. We are dealing with theater kids. I've said this before. This is a theater kid. This is the Democratic Party are a party full of theater kids who, strangely enough, want you dead, who are now openly writing, they're writing essays saying they want you, that is, conservatives, they want you to die. They want someone to come along and kill you just like Karmelo Anthony took the life of Austin Metcalf. But they don't want you to. But the modern communist, the modern leftist, is so fucking lazy that they want someone else to do it for them. That's why they idolize Luigi Mangione. That's why they idolize Fidel Castro and all the other communists who were man enough to get out there in the streets and do what needed to be done, what they felt needed to be done. The American communist, soft, weak, doughy, frightened of its own shadow, and pissed if they got to wait a little extra for their delivery order, for their food orders. See, that's the issue that I have. That's the issue. That's the issue y'all should be worried about. What happened with Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, honestly, is a distraction. It's a distraction that none of us have the luxury of indulging at the moment. So if you want to keep going, if you want to be politically homeless, if you want to do the whole, identity politics on the right, congratulations, you're all acting like a bunch of woke rightists. Whatever happens in that court of law, the facts will bear themselves out. That's all I really have to say about that. I'm not getting in no battles. If it turns out that Anthony murdered that white boy in cold blood, then I hope he gets what's coming to him. If Austin Metcalf if this was a legitimate case of self-defense, then you know what? The facts presented in the case will bear themselves out. But I'm not falling for the okie doke. I'm not falling for anything that would breed resentment or worse, division amongst our ranks. A lot of y'all don't seem to understand. We struck a mortal blow against communism when we elected Donald Trump. The people in Trump's cabinet are doing everything they can to protect this country from communist invasion. And I'm saying even from paleo-communist invasion, but we'll get to that. The bottom line is this. Whatever happens in that debate, whatever happens with that's going to be handled in a court of law. But what I will say though is the conduct by that guy who apparently is representing the family. That was the most despicable shit I've ever seen in my life. Where the father shows up the father of the deceased shows up at this press conference and gets laid into after forgiving the motherfucker that took his son's life. He prostrated himself before them people and got his head taken off in the process. Let it be known that's how that is honestly how these people are. We are dealing with monsters, with morally inverted monsters. You can either get your head in the game, or you can get your head out of your ass. One of the two. But the bottom line is, this is a distraction. You got to keep looking at the larger picture, period.